Welcome to the third session of the marketing management module of the Ewing Connect. In the third session, we'll be talking about developing a strategy for competition. The objectives of this session is to help understand the basic competition strategies. We would also list competition strategies that arise from marketing. We would evaluate and select a suitable competition strategy for your business. The course is designed to equip you with the basic knowledge on how to identify competitive advantages. There are three basic types of competition strategies that are derived from your competitive advantages and, of course, the scope of the firm's competition. And the three of them include the cost leadership, the differentiation, and the focus. So let's start with the cost leadership. To implement the cost leadership strategy, a firm should have several advantages already in place. For example, the infrastructure should be large enough to enjoy a scale advantage. The firm should have a source or availability or access to cheap materials. And the firm should seek a cut production cost at all stages. And what this means basically is that you are using the cost as an advantage, and you must look at all of the elements of the chain that leads to your production and find a way in which you would have reduced prices or reduced cost for all of these stages in the cycle of your production. The foundation for all of the business's strategy is basically seeking cheaper production costs, cheaper than that of your competitors. Attention should also be paid to the quality and service. With this strategy, the business invests on a large scale and then sells products at competitive prices to quickly build up market share. When you have achieved a higher market share, then of course the business will then have advantages in negotiating to buy materials at a cheaper price. While achieving a high profit level, your business can continue to invest to reduce prices. And basically what this means is that you are able to quickly invest money to be able to get large volumes of the materials you need in order for you to be able to achieve a cheaper price, a cheaper selling price. And what this helps you to do is to build high profit levels, because you then have the ability to negotiate with your suppliers, those supplying you your materials, because they already see that you're buying materials in large volumes. But there are a few things to consider. How can low cost help your business to compete? According to Porter's 5 forces model, if you look at competitors within the industry, when other competitors reduce the price to a no profit level, the firm still makes a profit. Now let's look at your customers. Customers often use their power to ask for a price reduction. The firm can offer lower prices to their customers relative to other competitors. To potential competitors, low cost creates a barrier and makes the market become less attractive. Low cost basically puts that entry barrier that doesn't make it attractive for other people to basically want to enter that market. And of course, to substitute products, low cost creates a more favorable position for the firm. Now, the basic thing is that when selecting a cost leadership strategy, it's important for you as a business to have some advantages already in place to enable you to implement it, as well as have the ability to continuously improve its skills and also match those skills with the organization and, of course, the strategy in itself. Now, let's look at differentiation. To implement this competitive strategy, your business needs to create some distinctive features which are highly valued by customers for their uniqueness. The focus here is the customers. There are a number of ways to create this. The best way is to make the product different in specific ways. For example, it can be different in terms of functionality or service, but it should be noted that the business still has to take into consideration the cost factor, even though cost is no longer the most important object or is no longer the most important objective in this strategy. By creating distinct features, the firm or the business can pique interest and encourage loyalty in its customers. Customers will become less sensitive to price because it is difficult to compare the firm's products with the competitors. Therefore, the business can sell the product at a higher than average price, earn a higher profit, and use the profit to further improve its distinct features. Simply having distinct features does not necessarily mean gaining a greater market share, because the uniqueness must also be rare and precious. So how can differentiation strategy really help your firm to compete? Just like we had looked at the cost leadership, let's look at differentiation from the competitors within the industry. Loyalty makes the customers feel less sensitive to price. When customers are loyal to your product, they will not think about price. We can use the example of the Apple product. Apple products are priced at a premium level, but those that are loyal to Apple products will always pay the price, irrespective of how much it is. Today, Apple has released a new product that is priced at $1,000 for a mobile phone, but the customers will always be in line for the release date. The lines are always endless. Now, customers will find it difficult to compare between products. Now, to your suppliers will buy because of the high profits. The high profits, so they can buy the product at a higher price. To potential competitors, the uniqueness creates a barrier or hindrance and makes them not want to enter that market which you are playing in. And of course, to substitute products, the firm has more advantages than its competitors in the industry in competing with substitute products. Now, let's look at the final one, which is really the focus. And if you look at the focus strategy is implementable when the firm needs or has decided to focus on a special group of customers. All the business's strategy should focus on providing the best service to this group, which is a niche really. When serving a small group of customers, the firm can outperform competitors because they have to compete in the broader market. And the broader market is basically that general market, which they have then cut out the people that they want to serve. The firm therefore can create the distinction to serve its customer better or produce at a lower cost, regardless of whichever aspect of the market that the firm or the business has decided to serve. Now, what are the risks or what are the risk factors? Firstly, the risk in implementing a cost leadership strategy includes change in technology. If the business does not regularly improve its technology, it can create opportunities for other competitors to make cheaper and better products, thereby losing the market share which they had initially gained. Competitors can simulate or copy using similar technology or materials. That means because of the kind of technology that you have or the kind of product you have, it can easily be replicated by competitors and they will basically launch the same thing you have. It is also a risk not focused on changing the product features and marketing methods. Due to an excessively heavy focus on controlling your cost, you can lose sight of other areas such as the features of the product, the marketing strategy which you use to push that product into the market, and the competitors can take advantage of this and basically use it to take market share. Another risk factor is the input expenses, the increment in input expenses. And this may be because exclusive material sources are no longer available or because of inflation. And we saw this recently when there was a fluctuation in the foreign exchange market, and this severely affected a lot of supplies for a number of people. So these are some of the factors that you need to look at in some of the risk factors you need to consider in considering cost leadership strategy. Now let's look at the risk in implementing a differentiation strategy. The high cost for uniqueness. Clearly, for you to be able to serve this market, to be able to differentiate your products or services from competitors, you are going to have to invest in the cost of creating that uniqueness. So I'll give an example. As a high-class manicure shop with stylish decoration, hair conditioning, convenience, and professional staff, the price is 10,000 naira per person. While at a popular hairdresser, the price is around 1,000 naira per person. Many customers believe that the 9,000 naira difference is too much because the final product is not that different. If you overprice or outprice yourself, you can also lose that edge you have. But imagine a situation whereby all of those things that you have created or invested in making yourself unique does not mean you will then differentiate the pricing so much. Let's look at the risk in implementing differentiation in a different from a different perspective. The uniqueness is no longer valued by customers when customers become more demanding. Let's use another example. When Mr. Big's fast food chain was first introduced in the early 90s, it created a great stir because of its uniqueness. It had much more modern, cleaner facilities than the low-cost and corner restaurants. It was safer and had better designs than most restaurants around. However, these days, there are so many other restaurants that have sprung up. And these factors are no longer valued by customers because so many other fast food outlets have opened that not only meet the above criteria, but are also more stylish and have better service and play better music. And this in itself has made Mr. Biggs to lose that essence or that uniqueness which it had in the marketplace. I'm going to use another example to help understand the risk factor in implementing a differentiation strategy. Competitors can make similar products and narrow the value of the uniqueness. This often happens when an industry reaches the market saturation stage. And the example I'll give is of Channels TV. 5 years ago, Channels TV was the most reliable private television station on news with many marketing activities to promote the brand. Today, there are so many more TV stations that offer the same quality of service on news. This has now put Channels Television in that narrow space, and the value of the uniqueness is not as hyped as it used to be when Channels Television was out a few years ago. Now let's look at the risk involved in implementing the focus strategy. The first is really around the cost for the uniqueness will be too high. And I'll use another example to help you understand what this means. The cost for some Cisco network devices is high because it provides functions only innovated by Cisco. Another risk in implementing focus strategy is the not much difference in demand between the special group of customers and the mass market. An example of this is the ceramic kitchenware for microwaves, which is targeting rich families with microwave ovens. This might not be welcome because products currently available on the market can be used in the microwave ovens anyway. And this honestly doesn't make it that much different in terms of the demand for that product. Another risk really is around, for implementing the focus strategy, really around competitors' jump in the segment for the special group of customers. When brand X is a shampoo for men, if other producers introduce anti-dandruff moisturizer shampoos, then brand X could be overshadowed. So it is important that you also understand the risk associated with each of these competition strategy. Now, let's look at competition strategy in marketing. Who are you in the market? As mentioned earlier, each business needs to select a basic competition strategy for themselves because each strategy requires the firm to have a different advantage or set of advantages. However, the competition strategy in marketing is applied at each level for each brand. A business can have more than one brand, and brand A can be a leading brand in the industry, but brand B could be ranked third. That is why each brand should have its own unique competition strategy. Selecting a suitable competition strategy will create a strong position and competitive advantage for a business in competing with its competitors. However, to select a suitable strategy, the business should identify the following. One, who are the competitors? Secondly, what is the position of the business in comparison to its competitors? The identification of competitors has already been discussed in the previous session. Normally, the firm will, one, attack weaker competitors, two, compete with equal competitors, or classify the competitors that could benefit the business and those who are troublemakers. From the identification of competitors and the position of your business in relation to competitors, the business can select one of the following competition strategy. The strategy for market leaders, whereby the business occupying the number one position normally does not want to gain the remaining customer share because it is too small. Instead, the business seeks to expand the market and develop the market demand for the whole industry. When the pie gets bigger, they will benefit most because they have the largest market share. To benefit from market expansion, a business needs to at least maintain its market share. Now, there's a strategy for market leaders, market challengers, market followers, and of course, the market niches. But what's most important is for each of these strategies, a business needs to understand its position in the market space, understand the set of competitive advantage or advantages which it possesses in order for it to be able to create a market or to create a strategy around how to play in the market space. The most significant or the most important thing is that when using the strategy, you need to understand that your business must play a specialized role. And that specialized role is what is constantly going to give you the edge in the marketplace. We have now come to the end of session 3. Please complete your end of session activity.